The head of corporate affairs for the National Road Safety Authority, Simbiat Redu. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, and how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. How about you?
I'm very fine, thank you. Thanks for asking.
Great. The figures don't look good. How concerned, how worried is the National Road Safety Authority?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. The National Road Safety Authority is very worried, is very concerned about the latest developments on our roads. Recording more than 20% in terms of persons killed, and having an increase in almost all the categories, being the cases reported, the vehicles involved, the persons injured, and the pedestrian knockdowns, including the persons killed from January to June 2025, as a cause of worry for every major stakeholder in the road safety industry. And so we at the National Road Safety Authority is very worried, looking at the latest development and justifying or juxtaposing it with our mandate, which is to ensure that traffic crashes are reduced to the barest minimum. And so we are very worried, and we look forward to, or we want to put in place strategies to ensure that the trends are reversed.
Right. I want to believe that investigations are carried out into some of these crashes, and based on our report, have we identified what may be accounting for the increase that we are witnessing? 20% is quite significant. And if this translates into the over 1,500 lives that have been lost, really, then the nation should be worried.
Yes. Looking at the causes of road traffic crashes, basically, broadly, we are looking at three major causes, which has to be the road, the human face in it, and the vehicle face in it. And I'm very happy my colleague at my friend at the GPRTU mentioned yes. Human error. Yeah, GPRTU, and then the state of our roads, which is very true. And now, diving into the human error, we are looking at speeding being a major cause, contributing close to 60% and more in the road traffic crashes. And I'm very happy your colleague at the studio with you mentioned that we need to ensure, to be very proactive, he mentioned that, and to ensure that we put in measures on the major highways, specifically the N6, to ensure that vehicle drivers comply with the speed limits and help to reduce the crashes.
Right. So, I mean, we want to look at areas where are known, or where there's dominance regarding these crashes. We here have been, speaking a lot about the Accra-Kumasi Highway, but we want to believe that the crashes are not limited to just this stretch. So where are some of the areas that have become notorious for some of these crashes? And of course, how do we navigate these areas to ensure that we reduce the crashes?
All right, so major ones are on our highways, and like you said, indeed, it is not limited to the N6 or the Accra-Kumasi stretch. We have records on the Techiman stretch,
right?
Techiman to Tamale stretch, I think the N6, if I'm not mistaken, and then the Takrady-Kumasi, the Tepco's Takrady stretch,
right,
which also record quite a number of crashes. And I might mention that most of these crashes we are mentioning has to do with speeding, which eventually which leads to wrongful overtaking and other causes. And apart from the speeding, we have driving at night, which obviously causes fatigue driving. We see most of these drivers losing sleep because they need to get to their destinations early and maybe come back to the stations. And so speeding is a cause, and then wrongful overtaking, which is from results from the speeding, and then the fatigue driving. And so not quite long ago, the National Road Safety brought up a directive which states that we should ensure transport owners should ensure that they have vehicles that go beyond 8 hours. They are relay drivers by the roadside, or even in the vehicles, which would change over with the drivers once they attain 8 hours of driving, so that they can rest for the next day. Aside that, speeding being a major, we have done a lot of collaborations, especially with the MTTD, to ensure that we reduce speed. But I'm happy my friend at GPRT Alhaji Abbas um, um, mentioned enforcement. Now, when you talk about enforcement, it is believed that the police, MTTD, and some major stakeholders or institutions in the road safety industry does that. But we also believe that enforcement starts with every individual who makes up his mind to use our roads. And so, if you're a driver, if you're a transport owner, if you are an operator, if you are on the road, if you're a passenger, you can help one way or the other to enforce these regulations. And so a driver driving at night might not meet the police on our roads, but is supposed to do the right thing and ensure that internally he has enforced the law, which says that you can't go beyond 80 kilometers per hour. And so it's about time we set up internal systems. We put in internal checks to ensure being at the terminals and even the driver plying the route, because once the police is not on the road, drivers tend to do whatever they want. And so we want them to take up the enforcement, a little bit of the enforcement themselves. We want car owners to take up a little bit of the enforcement. We want vehicle operators, transport operators. And so before you leave the terminals, you have logbooks, you've checked the logbooks, we know you are not going to speed beyond the speed limits. Instead of going 4 hours, you are not going to go 8 hours. Instead of going 8 hours, sorry, you're not going to go 4 hours, which means you sped on our roads. And so at this time, we want to advocate for internal enforcement, individual enforcement, which will complement what the police does on our road.
Very well. I mean, you've touched on my some of my giving answers to my next question, but I'm still going to go ahead and ask you this. We've identified the causes, we've identified the areas, you've mentioned enforcement, but I know that now you've transitioned from a commission to an authority, and so this confers some powers on you as an authority. What are you able to do and not do regarding road safety in the country? Are you able to organize, say, periodic sweeps or operations on some of these identified spots to ensure compliance and enforcement? Give us an idea on what the powers that you have now as an authority allows you to do.
All right. So the powers that we have now does not take us away from our traditional duty of advocacy, education, raising sensitization on road safety. And so we do that with our regulatory functions. And so as a regulator, we first of all are supposed to take a register of the transport operators in their system. And then we bring up standards and procedures to check their operations. And so we've done quite a number of them, but more need to be done. We've already started the registration process, and quite a number of them have joined have registered on our portal. We've also set up advocated for road safety officers at the terminal to ensure that before the vehicles leave the terminals, they have undergone some sort of checks. And so there's a pre-trip inspection done on the vehicles before they leave the terminals. And so once you are registered with us, we can check whatever is going on at the terminals. We can check whether your vehicle has registered, your vehicle is has done the pre-trip inspection, and whether your driver is not speeding, because we also have a monitoring system that checks what's going on our roads. Aside the road safety officers' duty, there are a lot of directives that we have come up with. Currently, we are in talks with other agencies to ensure that there are standards on helmet usages, there are standards in other road safety. But we need to do more advocacy. We need people to buy into whatever we have put in place. We need people to join, understand or appreciate the state of the National Road Safety Authority and help us to regulate, because in as much as we are releasing compliance notices, in as much as we are bringing our regulations, once the populace is not appreciating it, it will be very difficult. National Road Safety Authority is also challenged with funds.
Right.
We need funds to carry out our programs, and so if there are funds, we believe we would have gone further than we are now.
So, right. Samia, before you go, most often than not, the conversation of road crashes is centered on our highways, which are mostly outer city. But intra-city or within the cities, we also observe or witness some crashes. What are the challenges regarding these ones, and what can be done about them? We know that you have an exercise to remove, I think, billboards that are illegally sited and all that. Educate us on that as well.
Yes, vehicles within the inner cities are very, very crashes within the inner cities are quite important. I mean, we record quite a number of crashes in our inner cities. We have collaborated with the transport departments of most of the district assemblies or metropolitan assemblies to ensure that parking spaces are made available, to ensure that vehicles are regulated well, permits to operate are done in the right way. I can mention the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly and the Accra Metropolitan Assembly specifically. We have a number of engagements to ensure that we are well regulated in our inner cities. We've also identified the issue of operating on our road spaces in not only Accra and Kumasi, but most of the other places. And so National Road Safety Authority is advocating that the district take up some of these things. We have inaugurated 261 district road safety committees last year.
Wow.
And with the intention that we want to bring road safety closer to the people. And so we are in talks with the district assemblies to ensure that not only parking, we also will touch on billboards, because they give the permit as well as street lighting. And so the National Road Safety Authority is on course, is on top of our duties to ensure that the right things are done on our roads, citing these examples.
Simbiat, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate your time and insights this morning. We're grateful to you, and we wish you well. Simbiat Oredu, who is the head of corporate affairs at the National Road Safety Authority, speaking to us there via Zoom on the challenges, the major causes, and some of the areas where these road crashes are rampant, and what the authority is currently doing to help salvage the situation. I think, well, there's enough education in there, and it's good that she's spoken to us about what can be done. We need to take responsibility for our safety on the roads, and generally from all we are picking up, human error